Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise tonight to speak about the path of recovery by the communities in my electorate which were impacted by the devastating Central West flood event on the 14th of November 2022, and we are precisely 1 month to the day from the third anniversary of this tragic event which sadly claimed 2 lives and which forever changed the lives of the hundreds who survived the disaster. As the local MP and the chair of the Community Leaders Forum established to ensure that input from mayors, councils and communities were central to how funds are allocated and programs designed. I've closely observed the flood recovery programs roll out and support the flood impacted communities of the Central West to help them rebuild and recover. In the immediate aftermath of the flood event, the state and federal governments activated the disaster recovery funding arrangements, delivering relief grants, hardship support and funding to repair essential services and infrastructure. Over time, several structured programs were developed to deliver the government co-funded $100 million recovery and resilience package. Speaker, I wish to highlight some of the initiatives which are now underway and their impact in Cabonne, Forbes, Parkes, local government areas of the Central West. The Resilient Homes Program, a $40 million initiative which has offered eligible homeowners in flood-affected areas, including Cabonne, Forbes, Lachlan and Parkes, options such as voluntary buybacks, home raising, rebuilding and retrofitting resilience measures. This program has been a prolonged one which has involved a lengthy assessment phase, but we're now seeing impacted locals finally receiving this long-awaited assistance. This program is helping turn flood recovery from mere rebuilding into an opportunity for safer, longer-term housing outcomes. The Community Assets Program. As part of the $100 million funding package, the Community Assets Program funding stream has allocated nearly $24 million to restore and upgrade public infrastructure damaged by flooding, with a view to increase resilience. Assets funded under this program for the Orange electorate include, in Cabonne, restoration of Eugowra Showground lighting, refurbishment of the old Eugowra preschool site, refurbishment of the Eugowra pool and amenities, activation of Eugowra Showground and power, activation of Eugowra CBD, activation of Hunter Caldwell Sports Precinct at Molong, restoration of Eugowra Historical Museum and Bushranger Centre, relocation of the Manildra Multi-Purpose Courts, restoration of Memorial Park Eugowra and relocation of Molong hockey fields. In Forbes Shire, Forbes Netball Court upgrades, Forbes Lake Activation Plan, Footpath Resilience and Betterment, and Forbes Lake Activation Parks and Amenities Resilience and Betterment Project. In Parkes Shire Council, a new facility for the SES Parks unit, Berryman Oval flood repair at Trundle, Bushman's Dam flood repair and Pack Park flood damage repair. These projects not only repair what was lost, but they've also made these tight-knit country towns more resilient, renewing social vibrancy, instilling confidence and providing important gathering spaces for these impacted communities which are rebuilding and renewing. The transport and resilience upgrades, local roads and bridges and causeways are now being rebuilt with resilience in mind through a Regional Transport Resilience Fund under the DRFA. $3.8 million has been allocated for floodway, culvert, drainage and bridge works, with a further $5.3 million dedicated to bridge upgrades. These works are underway across Cabonne, raising decks, improving drainage, strengthening crossings, so that when future flooding inevitably occur, connectivity and safety are appropriately considered and not compromised. The New South Wales Regional Economic Development and Community Investment Program, or commonly known as REDCIP, REDCIP, while repairing flood damage is critical, it is critically important to support disaster impacted communities to increase resilience and pivot to not just sustain residents, but to also grow these vibrant communities. With this in mind, Cabonne Shire Council has lodged a funding application under the REDCIP program. This $50 million fund supports regional initiatives that drives employment, infrastructure, services, industry and growth. Cabonne are seeking New South Wales Government consideration of $2 million in funding from this program to establish and release residential land at Eugowra, which is located outside the mapped flood envelope in areas assessed and deemed low risk, to support and sustain existing population of residents relocating from properties for buybacks and providing housing opportunities for future growth for the town. And I have thrown my weight behind Cabonne's application in full support of their initiative and this funding. For Eugowra, it is vitally important that support be given to enable Cabonne Shire's release of new residential land outside the flood-prone zones to incentivise relocations, so that way the Shire and the community have the chance to design and deliver a safe, more resilient future. Thank you, Madam Speaker.